So now, with the same main thematic well-being cities in this World Cities Day, we have now the topic to address about diverse city and inclusive futures. So I invite for the stage Ana Marinho and Carolina Mendonça and Nuno Fideles to join me in this moment to see how we can engage communities. Please.
Olha, vou passar para cá.
You? So, first of all, I would like to invite Anna to make a presentation that will be also our, position in terms of the discussion that in the debate that we'll have together. So please, Anna, take the floor.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for being here. So my name is Ana Marinho, and I'm a social worker, and I work for the Aga Khan Foundation. Is it okay?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. And you think, what about social workers and the work we do? So, Aga Khan Foundation works in cities, in urban areas, like in Lisbon, Greater Lisbon, Porto, and Greater Porto. And specifically, the example I bring today is in Sintra municipality. Our big mission of Aga Khan Foundation is building a future where we all thrive together. And so we work towards inclusivity and opportunities for all. And we bring a concept that usually is not talked or shared among many people, that is pluralism. One thing is diversity, another thing is pluralism. Diversity is the fact. We are all diverse, we all come from different backgrounds. Pluralism is an ethic of respect. Is seeing diversity as something beneficial and positive, and working together to bring up the differences we have in each of us. And so pluralism doesn't born with us. It must be learned. We know we are different, but we need to learn how to be together and how to build inclusive societies. And also, we have to work towards pluralism in the hardware, with the regulations, legislations, but also in the software, with cultural habits and with our prejudice and how we share the cities and the places we live, our communities. And so how Aga Khan Foundation works to make these pluralistic societies. We usually work side by side with community-based organizations. We leverage local leaderships and promote citizen actions and networks. And also we involve different stakeholders in the same tables. So we bring people together, so we learn from our different perspectives. And in Aga Khan Foundation, we have been working in the life cycle of people, like starting from early education to work when we are adults, and then to the senior citizens. And since 2020, we started working also in community-based climate resilience, because the Prince Rahim Aga Khan once said, it is our collective responsibility to be good stewards of the planet. And he said it's our collective responsibility, putting the focus of this work towards the group, towards the community, and not in the individual responsibility. And so we are developing this pilot project in Sintra called Sintra Motion and Innovation for Low Emissions. It's a project funded by the EA grants, and we have a consortium of 9 entities from Portugal and 1 from Norway. And our idea is to develop different solutions in the circular economy pillar, in the energy and the buildings, sustainable mobility, and also the last one with community involvement. We have several actions taking place in the neighborhood. And this is the neighborhood, is a very small neighborhood with around 700 people in the municipality of Sintra, parish of Rio de Moro. And it was the neighborhood built by the tobacco company, Tabaqueira. And it's really a small city where you have a health center, you have a commercial, you have shops, you have 2 public schools, you have 1 private school. So we can really test all these solutions and then bring them to other places where they can be scaled. And the challenge is to decrease the CO2 emissions, also to make a better management of resources and to make this neighborhood a better place. And this is our main idea of having a greener neighborhood with the solutions like renewable energy community, a place where in the middle where people can come together and propose their ideas, shared bicycles, incentives for recycling, here the collective mobility, sorry, community gardens, and so on and so on. And when we got this challenge, we thought, how are we doing this with the people? We are bringing all these solutions to the neighborhood. So we went to the street, explaining to people what we were, what was the project about, and how they could help us. And so what we decided was we are going to, with this project, to reach all the groups of the people living in the neighborhood, regardless of their age, gender, or interest in the topics. Also involve the neighbors, the houses around, the companies that are also in the neighborhood, the local organizations, and the public institutions. Then we understood that the neighborhood and the outskirts of the neighborhood were too small. So we said, okay, sustainability, climate resilience, it's bigger than this. So let's involve also people from the whole municipality. And then, and the most important, to meet people and the institutions we are working with where they are. Not forcing them to be where we want them to be in terms of sustainability, but to work from where they are at the moment. And I chose this picture because if it's in the parking, kids park, where people are and where they are going to listen to us, so it's where we are going to talk to them. And building from there, we can change things and make people think about new solutions. And so we have here the building I was talking about that is really important to get people to see us and to think about sustainability. That's the Living Lab. That was a very old building. It was a supermarket, as you can, sorry. It was like this before, inside all the things from the supermarket, and was really like destroyed. And then nowadays it's a place that was recovered by the municipality, and where people gather and think about solutions. As you can see here, we have the beverage boxes that you see there, that they left in the supermarket, and now it's furniture. We have there the Jane Goodall drawing made by the local school, and all the furniture we have inside this building is second-hand, and many things also were given by the community, the residents. Then also we are about to have a community urban garden with elevated plots. We have many community gardens everywhere in cities, but most of them are not inclusive. So we thought we need some elevated plots so people with less mobility can also do gardening. And then also we propose to make a microforest, this area here, where the microforest is going to be planted and taken care by the residents and the neighbors and people that really want to access public space and take care of the public space. Usually people are invited to enjoy public space. Here we are inviting people to create the public space. And and we call them the microforest guardians. Then we also we are engaging the elders, because this neighborhood, 40% of the people are over 65 years old. And these two ladies, they said, our garden is really, really dirty, no one takes care of it. Can we put people together and take care of the garden? And we did, and they also helped to engage the other residents, and we engage with the local parish as well to do this work and to continue doing the work after our common action. And here, because we have a very technological project, we made a training for senior people on how to use the smartphones. And it's really a thing of confidence and elevating their competencies, because they really know it's just, they are afraid of using technology. But at the same time, we work with the younger generation. We have a Composting Goes to School contest in one of the public schools. You see there the compost bins. And we are launching on the 25th and 26th of November a program to leverage youth leadership in this in Sintra. It's not only for the neighborhood, it's for Sintra municipality as a whole, where youngsters can come up with their ideas and we support them to make them a reality. And then, as I said before, having the organizations together to have a better community. So there we have actually two of the biggest companies there, Tabaqueira and A.S. Smith, also one of the local schools. We have the municipality representatives, we have the parish, and also the local residents and the municipality residents all coming together to clean up the neighborhood. And here we have a cycle workshop in the project, and we partnered with the local association and the local bicycle association to make something together, and then when we leave as a project, the solution stays in the community. So not all of this it's easy. It comes with a lot of challenges. First one, the human smart city. We always talk a lot about smart cities, but we forget the human part of the smart cities. If people don't get to understand the technology and the science behind it and how they can incorporate this in their life, it's just the city is smart by itself. It doesn't have people participating. And then we cannot forget about the social and technological inclusion, because people are far away from when they have other needs, when they don't have employment, where they don't know when it's the next meal. They will not think about climate, they will not think about sustainability, so we also need to incorporate this challenge. And the technological inclusion is really nice to bring applications to the neighborhood, but if people don't even have a smartphone, or they have but they don't know how to turn on the Wi-Fi or the data, for what then? Then community engagement and participation is becoming harder and harder, because the places for coming together are really few. People really talk very little with each other and have no places together around the table and just chat and communicate. Then also it's hard to involve all the partners. It seems easy in the pictures, but sometimes it's not, to put together all the agendas of the different partners. And then also, as I said before, seeing nature and sustainability as a new dimension of well-being, and also as a human right. People still think that we will continue without this planet, but I don't think that's going to happen. And so, thank you. If you want to know more, you can visit our platforms, and of course you can also visit us in Sintra and visit our hub and all the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for your sharing, and congratulations for this great project. And this is a great practical example that we should follow for other cities and for other neighborhoods. And talking about new and other neighborhoods, I would like to pass to Carolina Mendonça, that is from Azores, DMO Azores. So these kind of examples that are not only sustainable perspective and that put in the neighborhoods the objective and the goal to be low emission, don't forget the human size and the human needs to be fulfilled with inclusion and social worker, and that is very important to be more real in not to design cities and neighborhoods that are like seeing in the future. You have also an example of this kind of practical actions that could be implemented in the neighborhoods, in the cities.
Yes, but in a much broader sense. First, I would like to congratulate you, Anna, because this is hard work. It took a long time, probably, to achieve all this. So, congratulations to you and all your team. It's really inspiring to see all this happening. And good morning, everyone. I'm Carolina. I'm from the Azores. I was born and raised in the Azores. I'm from São Miguel Island, and since a very young age, I would need the remote, please. Since a very young age, I had this passion for the place where I live, and I've decided since an early age that I needed to work in a field where I could have some positive impact in the place where I live and drive some positive change also. So regarding your question, I would like to show you a little bit of how we are making some impact. So I would like to ask Reggie to just play the slides. So just because of our, I'm sorry, I got the flu. Just because of our geographical situation, we are faced with many challenges. So if we take a closer look, we see that we are 9 islands in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean with about 250,000 inhabitants. And the biggest island has 125,000 inhabitants, which is São Miguel, and the smallest one just 400 inhabitants. So just because of that, you can imagine the inequalities of access to health services, to education. Just São Miguel Island and Terceira have universities. So the major economic sectors are fishing and farming, and tourism is really recent. We started to have more tourism in the Azores since 2015 when we opened the aerial space to low-cost companies. So we started to see a really fast growth in overnight stays. Of course, this was interrupted by the pandemic situation, but we are now recovering very well. And in 2017, and under the scope of the United Nations have declared that 2017 as the year for sustainable development, and how tourism is a good catalyst for sustainable development because of its collaborative sector. We decided to certify the Azores destination with EarthCheck, which is the leading scientific benchmarking certification and advisory group for travel and tourism, and is accredited under the Global Sustainable Tourism Council criteria. But what I wanted to show you is that even though the Azores are the first archipelago in the world to achieve this certification, what we should be proud of is not the certification itself, but all the process to achieve it. I will not show you all the steps to achieve the certification, but I would like to let you know that, as we saw on a presentation, sustainability is only effective if it is a collaborative process. As we saw in her work, she joined everyone in the community. She joined the municipality, the local organizations, the local community, and they are addressing solutions. They are implementing good solutions. And another model that we have here is that we cannot manage what we don't measure. So we really need to collect data in order to make informed decisions about the situation and to improve the sustainable development of these islands. And I was talking with Nuno yesterday about how there is this gap between what the local community thinks or what are their concerns and what is the government action. And sometimes this does not articulate very well.
Exactly.
So what we are doing is that in the Azores DMO, and DMO, by the way, is Destination Management Organization, we created many working groups, like the Sustainability Committee, 9 green teams. So we created 1 green team in each island, because, I don't know if you know, but the Azores have their own regional government, their own hierarchy, and 19 municipalities. Each municipality has their own political color. So we wanted to bring everyone together, and this was a challenge. Because in the beginning we were seen as just as a political structure, and we are indeed impartial because sustainability must not have any colors. We are just promoting sustainable development in all islands. So we created the 9 green teams that are constituted by the local municipalities, local NGOs, one representative of the environmental secretary, and the public working groups are created by government bodies. So the decision makers, the ones that have the power to implement solutions. And we have adopted this methodology where with the green teams we define the priorities. We need to define priorities. Otherwise we will just we will want to tackle all the problems at the same time, and that's not possible because we have limited resources. We have limited financial and human resources, so we must define priorities. With whom? With the green teams, because they are on the field. They know what are the main challenges and concerns. Then we need to take all this data to the decision makers, to the government, to the public working sector, so that we can collect commitments and goals that will effectively mitigate and tackle these problems and challenges that were identified by the green teams. And we, Azores DMO, are responsible to communicate and report every year on these situations. So we challenged how have you done that? We challenged the green teams to look at these problems or challenges like economy and innovation, water management, transportation, energy consumption, waste management, education, territory planning, and others, and to prioritize what would be more important for them to solve in first place. And it's interesting to see the asymmetries from island to island. So in Corvo Island, you remember it's the smallest one, the priority is waste management. But if you see Graciosa Island, that have many problems with water salinization, the main problem is water management. And São Miguel Island, which is the island where I live, is education. So the problems must be tackled in a tailor-made way. Because if we don't do this, these problems will remain the same, and these communities, these small communities, will continue to suffer from the same problems on and on and on. I give you an example. In Graciosa Island, this problem with the situation with the salinization is during for the last 20 years. I have the privilege to drink water from the tap, and it's okay for my health. In Graciosa Island, it's the only island that you cannot do that because the water is salinized. And for the first time last year, we did the audit, the on-site audit in Graciosa Island, and the auditor raised a major non-conformance. And for the first time, everyone is paying attention to this because they don't want to lose the certification. So they are tackling this situation now, and we created a very tailor-made sustainability action plan to solve this particular situation. So I believe this.
Sorry, how do you elect these priorities? It was a participation process from the budget?
They chose. This is the green teams.
Okay.
The green teams chose the priorities. So they looked at this. They looked at these challenges, and we put these challenges on Mentimeter. So it's simple, and they chose.
Measuring some indicators, or with the participation of the community?
This is community participation.
Okay.
They picked the
Yes,
the problematics or themes that they are more concerned with.
Okay.
So this was a transformative process for the Azores, as we saw in Anna's presentation as well. Everyone is collaborating and working together towards the same goal. And the private companies are also collaborating in this, so they are actively adopting the Sustainable Development Goals. And to do so, we have implemented workshops and capacity actions in all islands, where we have now more than 200 subscribing entities that have integrated sustainability in the core business. So that's what I wanted to show you. Thank you so much.
So another great project. It's more abroad.
More broad, yes.
Yes, like you said, but anyway, very important and very strategic. I think that this is the new governance ecosystem that we need, with not only with participation, but also with holistic vision that can tackle all the different areas. Congratulations for your project and for your work. Very inspired. And Nuno, with this kind of visions that we have to be more inclusive, to have more human-sized cities, and also with this diversity in terms of cities, can we have these mandatory priorities in different territories that could be, I should say, going until the process of the policy decision and the policy makers to tackle these problems?
First of all, congrats. Both. Great job. So happy to see that this is happening in my country, and to see that it's possible to do something positive and to
it will make us very proud also.
Definitely. And I'm
Not
really
only the
sad
outcomes,
that these people just arrived now and lose these two great example of these two works. Amazing. As we were saying on the beginning of the session this morning, we believe that engaging people is more than important to create these sustainable projects. The engagement of people to create this holistic approach, it's more than important to explain people what we are doing and what we all want to do, and saying to them it's possible. It's definitely most important to educate them, like they did, with a simple thing like using a phone. But the truth is this: we still need to educate people on this, and I think and to communicate well the solutions that we have. By doing this, I think that we can create the goals in terms of working alongside the governments and political decisions to understand what is possible to do and what people want to do to see on their cities, on their neighborhood, because it's possible, and this shows that it's possible. So this is not theory, this is practical, and should be mandatory.
Not only because there are, I should say, the need to give the first step, but also because there are organizations like Leading by Society that implement this project, and I think that is very important because since the first panel to this one, we passed from reshape cities to introduce a new behavior from the society and be aware of this new, to switch for this new behavior, but in an inclusive way, because people from their bottom, they don't feel able that their own behavior could change the things could tackle and combat the climate change.
Changes.
But when you make it this way, from a structured way, with a structured dialogue, with a ecosystem governance in the field, and then with this, I should say, this challenge to be more inclusive, to be more human, to have this social work in neighborhoods that they need to be helped to give the first step. I think that it's a very good inspiration. And sorry to say, without any question, only a comment, because I'm really stand with it, your project. So, and you mentioned some challenge, and one of them that you mentioned that I felt very important is the basic need that should be fulfilled to tackle then the sustainability. Do you have that direct approach with them, or do you make this like with a comportamental neuro behavior in terms of the engagement of the community? This is direct approach?
No, it's not a direct approach, because when we started working in the community, we make a questionnaire to see if people had our concerns, were their concerns. Okay. And no, their concerns were not related to climate change. Their concerns were related to, because it's an old neighborhood, like with being alone, not having enough things to do, not being together in the same, not having like their families with them. They were very worried about just having a clean neighborhood. But it was not their responsibility to clean, so their claims were about the public,
the municipality.
The municipality and the parish, and they were also really worried about their history, the way their neighborhood was really great when it was built by the factory, and how it has been forgotten by the public institutions. And so we were like, okay, but we want to talk about sustainability, and we want to bring solutions here. We want to swap clothes. We want to repair things, and we want people using bicycles. And how do you do that when their needs are other needs? So, but as you have a different, like a spectrum of people in the community, you can work in different ways with different people and get to work from where they are, and then get them where you want them to be. So yeah. So if, for example,
you feeling the increasing of the feeling of belong and the proud that they have in the work that they do together. It's like they can have this sense of feeling that they are own of their destiny in terms of neighborhood.
Yes, one of our strategies also was to use arts to bring back their memory as a neighborhood.
The identity of the
to
cultural
get the
identity.
sense of, we are not here to steal what is yours. We are here to bring to light what you already have, but to think about the future. And the future is sustainability. But let's start from what you give importance to, and then from there make a way together, like walking together. And these working people that before were always telling us what is wrong in the neighborhood now are coming to participate, come up with solutions, and ask us how can we help them to implement those solutions. The same thing with the organizations that are in the neighborhood, like before, another project, the schools bring, we have so many projects in schools, how we don't have time for this, but now the teachers are calling us, Do you have someone that can come here, teach the kids about how to ride a bike on the streets? Can you come here and teach the kids how to create their own energy? So we are creating these relationships and working with people is based always in relationships, and relationship takes time. As you said, it's not like we go there one day and the result is the next day. No, it takes 1, 2, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years
to have the confidence of the.
Well, the confidence it takes less time, I hope, but to see results and to see the change.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can totally relate with what she's saying. Like the certification process is. Began in 2018, 2019, and it's been like a learning process since the beginning. And in the beginning, people were like, okay, one more project. And it's like, we were talking about this yesterday, it's like Maslow pyramid, with the basic needs must be there, otherwise people will not think about climate change or doing recycling, or if they don't have food for their kids in the table, right?
Yes.
So we really need to engage people and learn about what are their major concerns, so that we can tackle those priorities, and people can then think about other things and
So
be focused in other
among the
projects.
development of your projects, you feel that this I should say engagement is increasing through until have the results that, of course, you want to have.
Yes, it is, but it could be better. I mean, what are we measuring, and what data are decisions makers looking at?
To see the results.
Yes, because we are still looking at the success of a country or destination by looking at the rise of the GDP.
Yeah. Yes.
And we cannot do that anymore. This is not the same as a rich
That's the point.
or well-being city. The theme is well-being city. So the city well-being is people well-being. So
Of course.
let's ask people
Do you
happy
measure,
they are.
Do you measure the happiness of the
No,
communities?
we don't have that indicator.
Okay.
We don't have happiness indicator. We
Okay.
should start to measure indicators like happiness and well-being, because these are really important. If the people are happy, they will be more engaged, they will be more they will trust more,
Exactly.
and they will collaborate more. And
But-
we are not looking at the right indicators to make decisions.
Carolina, but say me one thing about the implementation of the project. All this ecosystem that is designed with this participation of the community, it was from your initiative, and besides that, do you have the municipalities?
We have all municipalities on board.
Engaged on
Yes,
board? Yeah.
and we collect
And
data.
the government also,
Yes,
regional government?
this is a decision of the government, and the DMO
So
is
you
under the
present
government
the
scope.
project
Yes.
to the public institutions to implement in the field?
Yes, because of course the certification gives notoriety to the destination. It gives a competitive advantage, because most consumers are much more
And
aware.
this certification was also your initiative, or
was
of the
an,
project?
was
of
an
the-
initiative of the regional government of the Azores.
Okay.
So they decided to do this, and we are the DMO are the responsibles for this. The thing is, we are collecting data already. Yes, we collect qualitative and quantitative data every year that is related with greenhouse gas emissions, socioeconomic benefits, waste management, water management, transportation. All these KPIs are collected. We collect more than 400 indicators every year. We have local audits to see if we are complying with all these criteria or not.
But then we miss
but
the
then we miss
environmental and human indicator.
we need the human part.
Yes.
Sustainability is not about environment. It must be about people taking care of the
Definitely.
environment. And people will only take care of the environment if their basic needs are there.
I don't know if you know the sustainable development concept that are not based in 3 pillars, but in 5 pillars. and the fifth pillar, the fourth is time, and the fifth pillar is happiness and people and cultural identity that you are talking about. And this is a concept that was developed since 2009. Tsecenso, scientist that developed that. Do you think, Nuno, that this is now the time to introduce new KPIs, like Carolina said, in economy, a new model that should be run to implement all these projects in not only profit or GDPs and so on?
Definitely. One of the things that today, for instance, we do in buildings and in sustainable buildings, and when we are working on now I'm coming to downsize, but one of the major things that we have to do when we are doing management of a building is doing survey to people and understand if they are happy on the building, if they like the amenities that they have, if they like the conditions that are given to them to go to work. So this is almost mandatory today on the management of a building, on a sustainable building. So I'm a little bit surprised that this kind of service to the happiness of people does not happen, because we see that sometimes in newspapers or in the news that the people more happy are in Finland and the people more, but these indicators for sure should be allowed to have all the people question and
to be introduced in the model of management of the organizations and states and cities.
In the organizations, we already have that. What is concern is my concern is that is not for the local authorities to have a look on that. We need data to work. We need data to take decisions.
Yeah.
Even, for instance, in census that is done from 5 to 5 years,
10
we could ask them, are you happy? What do you feel? Do you feel one of these many, and now looking more on the social side, one of the biggest diseases that we have at this moment across the world, beside heart attacks, it's the mind health problems. And if we do not look to the people, if we don't question people, if we don't talk with people, if we don't survey people, we will lose all these important factors that will guide to people feeling sad and to very, very, very...
No, let me take this part before we lose our audience and trying to see if there are any questions to this panel and to these speakers, please.
Can we make a query to them? Are you happy?
It seems so.
Please raise your hand. Are you happy?
Who is
One
happy?
hand. Are you happy? 1, 2 hands. 3, 4. So many unhappy people in this room.
Who is happy here? Yes, too many people, I think. Not so many as we should, because we should happy.
They're leaving us.
Let me say, because this become a little bit loudy, and there's any question that's not you. No. Okay, that's the mic. Okay.
Jorge, but I would like to ask a question to the audience, if we can. How many of you have learned about sustainability at school? Can you raise your hand? Don't be shy. Because I think you have all learned about sustainability at school. But how many of you have put these learnings into practice in your community? How many?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of them, but not so many
Not
as...
so many. That's.
But an applause to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations for your initiative. Well, let me bring another perspective that I think that is very important when you talk about basic needs to see sustainability. You talk about having food and having energy and water and so on, but there's another dimension that most of this new generation don't have in mind, and they think that they are differently. It's about security, peace, democracy, liberty, and about that principles, about that values that we grow with. Shouldn't be also in the sustainable concept?
Of course.
Do you develop in your projects that values and that principles that are the basic needs? Because if we thinking about nowadays in Ukraine, Russia, Palestine, Israel, and so on, this is not only a lack of food, it's a lack of liberty and democracy and security, peace, and so on. We are in a island, a paradise island, that we have all of these, not only the basic needs, material basic needs, but the immaterial basic needs. Do you think about that when you contact with the community?
We have someone that wants to ask a question.
Please, can you take the mic?
Mic.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your initiative and your courage.
I'd like to say that on the question of democracy or liberty, I feel like these are very abstract concepts in the sense that, yes, we live in an island, but historically and still today, our island of Europe and the US is essentially predicated upon the accumulation of capital and the extraction of resources from the third world. And fundamentally, this sort of spreading of democracy is in fact not in any way a spreading of democracy. Not just Palestine or Ukraine and Russia, but for example, Haiti. Not enough people have been talking about that. Haiti is being invaded for the 5th time right now. Haiti is a perfect example of, for example, Levi's, which is a company that prides itself as sustainable, lobbied not the Haitian government, but the US government to be able to reduce the minimum wage in Haiti, which is already quite small. So I don't think that, I myself don't like to use the term sustainability because it's been mired in things like the Tokyo Protocols, which were an absolute diversion a lot of times from sustainability. I prefer the term ecology, but I feel like for the most part, I'm not saying all of them, but most companies or the system of companies and democracy has actually brought ecological damage to the world in many ways, and people, countries which we oftentimes don't consider democratic have actually done quite a lot for ecology. So that's...
Yes, and let me pass also to you with this compliment. Even we could have a perspective that we have to make the transition, the climate transition, and to protect to avoid the loss of biodiversity and to decrease the emissions as you do in your as a main goal in your project. We still have needs of resources and raw materials. So how can we tackle that to avoid fossil fuels and to decrease the emissions without having the access to raw materials?
Well, I don't think the we never preach or we never educate to not use raw materials. We educate for reducing and
The consume.
recycle and
Reuse, recycle.
Circular economy.
circular economy. Yeah. So maybe we need it, but then let's see what are our options to
can you
reuse it
reuse?
again and to reinvent that material, so we don't waste it and we don't need more. And that's the shift we need to make in a way we think about the resources, is that they are not there for us just to use it when we want and then just dispose. We are part of this planet and we have to take care. And dispose is not we throw it out. Out is the planet. So we need to shift this way of thinking, and we still need resources. We have always needed resources. It's just a way of how we think
How we consume,
and
you
that,
can change our behavior to reduce.
yeah,
and
how we don't pay for the damage we cause to the ecosystem. And so once we get to pay the price for damaging the ecosystems, then I think we will stop doing it. But until there, it's just for free. You just use water, or other resources, and it's for free, and you don't pay for that.
And Carolina, when we think worldwide, and we talk about the panel before, that when we see in developing countries that have the same right to live with the same conditions that developed countries live, how can we inspire this new role model not to consume materials? Because in 20 years, they are increasing population. If they implement the same economy model that we implement in the last 50 years, there will be no more materials to use. So how can we inspire them to have the same quality of living?
Well, I think this requires a systemic approach. Like these are very complex challenges, very complex situations, and it requires a systemic approach in a way that we really need to understand the system that we are in. And this global situation is made of many little systems. And even, what is your name? Vicente. Vicente, you touch points in many particular situations and global situations as well that are leading to these global challenges. And I think the best way to inspire others is to pay attention to your ratios of acting, of actuation. Like, what is around you that you can act and deliver solutions?
And
because if you tackle...
Be a sustainable influencer.
If you tackle the challenges and problems in your surroundings, and everyone does that, then you can inspire others to do the same, and you will have an impact in every single system. And all these systems are interconnected.
So it's like leading by the example.
Exactly. You can lead by example, and you can disseminate these solutions worldwide. And of course, this is the only way to respect the planetary boundaries.
Yes.
Well,
and,
let me just add, because I think this is about justice. We have to understand from where the resources to have the kind of life we have in the global north, from where the resources come from. And it's not even just that we ask the places where the resources come from to not go in the same direction. I think we can only reflect on how we are exploiting the whole world to live as we are living, and
in a fair transition.
Exactly.
It's a fair transition, but we cannot ask them to not go there. showing how it doesn't work for us.
I don't know if you have more questions because we have lack of time, but no, we only have 1 minute more. But anyway, there's any question more? Vicente, you want to do one more or no? It's okay. Because one part that we are miss is that we have to understand that most of that communities that have to supply resources that they are not being funded not to extract that resources. They are the only I should say way to live, to have money, and the way of living is because we are paying for that economy. We are not paying. It's like Amazonia. All we know that the Amazonia is completely deforested, but anyway, we not create economy to conserve, to make the maintenance of the forest, but we are paying to reshape the forest to things that could be more productive. So the thing is how we can internalize value to the ecosystem service that are cleaning the atmosphere, that we are preserving the biodiversity, and so on, to have these well-being cities.
We must internalize the externalities because we keep saying this is a problem of others. No, we are not even paying the right price of our clothes.
Exactly.
We are not paying the right price because all the value chain has an impact. You have an impact on climate change, you have an impact on CO2 emission, you have an impact on the labor, where this labor comes from, the cost of transportation of this item to the other part of the world, and you are not paying the right price of a jeans, of a pair of jeans, for example. And consumers keep saying, oh, this is too expensive. No, it's not expensive. You're not even paying the right price of it for it. So we definitely must internalize the externalities because they're not externalities anymore.
What you do touch on the other side of the world.
Exactly.
And your decision to buy a T-shirt of €2 or a T-shirt that is produced in your local country or something, this is the position.
Exactly.
So what we do, Vicente and everyone, what we do affects the other part of the world.
Of course, yes. So I don't know if you have any questions. We already go out of time, so we have also to close. But one more, if anyone. So if we don't have questions, we should close this panel. And thank you for your sharing. Thank you to be with us and with this marvelous audience, and to those people that are online also. And in conclusion, we should say that to have a well-being cities, we have to develop happiness indicators. So I think that could be our conclusion of this panel. And congratulations for your great projects in the field. Thank you very much. A round of applause.